Welcome. There's a lot of things I want to talk about today. A lot of things I want to get off my mind. Whether you guys want to listen, I don't really worry about it. Because this is my thoughts. This is the way that I feel. You know, I have this fundamental issue when somebody says the word try. Whether they'll try their best. They'll do the best that they can. I will try. I'm trying. How can you get mad? And when you hear those things, to me, trying is as good as nothing. Because when you try, it is at the end of the day what you decide to do and what you decide you aren't going to do. That's an attempt. That it doesn't matter how much you're going to do, you're trying. So trying is as good as nothing. It doesn't mean much. And I'll use this as an example. So when close people don't actually answer your phone calls. When close people don't actually answer your phone calls, did they try? I mean, maybe the ringer was off, but they tell you they're trying. Dude, your ringer's off. How are you going to sit here and tell me that you're trying to actually reach out to me or trying to have a conversation when you don't even bother to have your ringer on? When close people don't answer and they tell you that they're just trying, it leaves room for their error because they can't commit or give you an actual promise. Commitment to actually what you're saying is key. How can you sit here and say something and then not mean it? What, you're lying to yourself? And this is my fundamental issue with people, is that they'll sit there and say these things as if words do not cast spells. How can you try in something and then also at the same time simultaneously be doing your best? It doesn't work. And I understand this. Everyone's emotions are relative to them. You know, like what I've experienced at the end of the day compared to what other people experience. The things that I went through may have been much more gruesome to others. Although it doesn't mean I felt it more. Doesn't mean that their feelings are any less than mine. And at the end of the day, I think we have this judgment about how people should and shouldn't act. When at the end of the day, we're all just living a genuine life that we have never lived before. So what would be the answer to all the people that have these emotions, to people that are actually experiencing real life hurt? Does it mean that, if it's little and they are experiencing the same hurt as another person, that is different? No. And that's where I come into the play where I believe love is the answer. You know, it's like when someone takes from you, how are you supposed to feel? Say somebody stole thousands and thousands of dollars from you, but you're good. You're still living. That person's not doing as well as you thought they would. So at the end of the day, did you help? I believe so. I believe maybe at the end of the day, that person probably needed that more than you did. And you did not think or count the blessings in which that you had, and that's why it was taken from you. You know, it's like, if you do something that you don't like, what are you doing it for? Is it for you? Or is it for another person? And when you're doing that thing for the person that you at the end of the day didn't want to do, why are you doing it? Does it help you? Do you do better? You know, you don't need a ton. You don't need a ton to actually start working hard. You don't need a direction to start doing things. You just need to start and get in the habit of doing more each day. Say you want to go ahead and play the guitar. You want to go ahead and get better at basketball, shooting the shot, dribbling, whatever it is. And you can't push yourself to actually get to doing those things. Go ahead and just start and get in the habit of doing more each day. It doesn't have to be hours and hours where people are saying, oh, you're not working hard enough, you're not putting 10,000 hours into something, then you don't deserve the success from it. It doesn't make sense. And there's ways to actually go about it. Like, you can make your whole life better by just breathing more. Most people are deficient in oxygen. It's so bad that it's scientifically proven we're supposed to expand our chest 3 inches with every breath, yet we only do it an inch on average. So that means we could be 3 times better. Imagine more oxygen. You're going to die faster without oxygen than you would without water. Yet people don't actually put this as a key thing in their life. Genuinely. There's something that I started doing. It was called Wim Hof. And I learned it when I had extreme anxiety. I didn't know what to do. Couldn't even leave my bedroom. I was scared about nothing. I would go into stores, think somebody's following me for no reason. It's because I was deficient in oxygen. How do you expect to go through your day-to-day and you're deficient in a thing that keeps you alive without every second? I mean, really, you have to sit here and actually do Wim Hof. Wim Hof is a breathing technique in which you expand your chest 3 inches outwards as well as inwards. But you go deep breaths. You do 30 of those. And at the 30th breath, you sit there and you breathe halfway out. And then hold your breath. Just hold your breath for as long as you possibly can. What this does on a molecular level is it vibrates all of your cells. Imagine your body having maximum oxygen to the point where you maximized it. You have 100% oxygen in your body. And then you're holding it and you feel so much oxygen molecules that it literally vibrates your cells. And when you vibrate your cells with oxygen, what happens? Your body probably absorbs oxygen a little bit better. I'm not no scientist. I'm literally just sitting here. That's probably what happens. And if most people are deficient in actual oxygen, that's probably how you fix it. By breathing more and then holding the breath. It's like going into water and then expecting to be able to hold your breath for minutes and minutes. It doesn't even make sense. You go into the water, you should practice to be able to hold your breath for longer periods. You get in the water for 30 seconds and you do it for 45, a minute. You really push yourself so that you actually get the strength from it. And this is something that people don't do, but if you genuinely put it in perspective, you would be 3 times better than what you are right now. Just from the statistic that we legitimately are supposed to expand our chest 3 inches every single breath, and we only do it on average 1 inch. You would be 3 times better. Imagine being able to be 3 times better in athletics, 3 times better financially, 3 times better in life, 3 times better mentally, physically. You're going to just be doing better and better. But people just don't do this because they have this stigmatism or this ignorant view that they think that they can outrun oxygen deficiency. It makes no sense to me. And it also allows you to have a better mindfulness of yourself. When you have all this oxygen in your body, you're holding your breath, your body's triggered by the fight or flight mechanism. So when you trigger the fight or flight mechanism, that mechanism continues to get stronger and stronger because you either fight through it or you flight through it. Simple as that. And if you fight through it, boom, it probably makes it stronger, like a muscle. And at the end of the day, your fight or flight mechanism is associated to the edges of your neurons, which are called your lipids. Those lipids, every single time you do these oxygen breathing techniques, it sends actual oxygen through your bloodstream, which allows for more iron, because iron is the passageway of oxygen through the bloodstream, So more iron that's actually absorbed as well as more oxygen, you're allowing your body to just heal itself. There's so many people right now that are anemic, that get tired, get cold, dry skin. It's anemia. You lack oxygen in your bloodstream. You lack oxygen in your muscles. If you actually put it in perspective, when you're working out, say you're doing bench press, that bench press is legitimately the only reason your muscle grows is because oxygen reaches the muscle. If that wasn't the case, how's your muscle actually going to grow without breathing? You die. Your organs as well as your body need the oxygen to go to those portions, and it allows for those organs as well to get healthier and healthier. So the better you feel, the better you do. The better you do, the better you feel. So the better you feel, the better you do. It's just an ongoing cycle, and people just avoid this simple little fact of breathing, and it pisses me off, because this is the reason I believe most people are ungrateful, because they don't trigger their fight or flight mechanism enough. They don't feel as if on a day-to-day basis they're dying. That's what triggering your fight or flight mechanism does, is it makes you feel as if you're dying, so that you have to fight through it or you have to flight through it. And if you don't feel like that on a day-to-day basis, then how are you going to sit here and count your blessings for even the smallest of things, the grass outside? And that's why I say gratitude is the key, but yet people don't get it, because I say, you got to breathe first. That's the first thing that you actually have to do. You have to sit here and actually learn how to breathe properly. But they don't do it. People want the answers, but yet the answers are so boring. Literally. Breathe more. Exercise. Everybody knows what to do. They just choose actually not to do it. It's genuinely a frustrating thing that most people never get out of the habit of actually doing. So there's a few other things I actually wanted to talk about on this. I gotta go to my Twitter. I expand a lot of my thoughts there a lot more intrinsically, articulately, and so that's why I realistically want to go through there, because some of these quotes are hard. Don't mean to toot my own horn, but at the end of the day, there's not something that you could really say that's different, that people haven't heard before, and you can't really rewrite a new path. As sad as that is, all the paths right now are pretty much walked. So the best way that you could actually utilize these paths is by walking in another's. Follow exactly what they are doing in order to get what you want. Because if you're doing things that you don't actually want on a day-to-day basis, then who is it for? Is it for you? Because if it's not, you experience burnout. You just die out. Because you don't want to talk about the things that you're talking about. You don't want to do the things that you're actually doing. And you have no motivation to actually know what it is that you want in life. You gotta start actually looking a lot deeper. And a lot of people will sit there and be like, life isn't that deep. It's because they're not deeply living. And how can you sit here and act as if you're deeply living and downplay another person for something that they want to do? It makes no absolute sense to me. And that's where I come into the play, where I think envy is the root to all evil. Because envy, at the end of the day, even in the smallest minute portion of it, would be talking about something or others in ways that you should not be. And I've never actually spoken about this, but even speaking upon other people is envious. Whether you don't even want the things of them. Say the definition of envy is hating on somebody that has the things that you actually want. Or talking about somebody that has the things that you want. Talking about is in the definition. You can't escape that. Okay? I don't actually even know what the exact definition is. But say envy is talking about another person that you actually genuinely dislike. If you talk about that person, therefore you're envious. Because it's a part of the definition. You can't escape that. I've had so many arguments about this because people think that they know the English language and they want to excuse certain portions of a definition because they think as if that's not the gist of the entire thing. If it's in the definition, then it's apportionately true. That's just how English is. And so even me speaking about other people that I have these discussions with can even be looked at as envy or envious. I'm not hating, but I'm talking about, and that's proportionately what the definition means. So I can't escape that. At the end of the day, everyone in this world is envious. Doesn't matter. All hate is derived from it. If there were no people, where would envy be? We can't speak about it. Animals may be having it. They may have this dialect and fish language where they're sitting there. But at the end of the day, humans don't actually have this. So every single thing, pretty much, if we talk about these people, it's envy. So how do we escape that? Talk about yourself. Talk about the things that you personally care about. And then you're no longer actually experiencing those specific things. Yeah. There's just so many things that you could genuinely do to change your life, and no one actually talks about it. Nobody actually sits there and wants to give you the good information because the good information is boring. I'm sitting here talking alone by myself, not exactly even knowing what to talk about, but it's just, there's so many things to say. We have 6,000 thoughts a day, and only about 115 of them we consciously think about on a day-to-day basis. So, the conscious thoughts is what you need to fix. I believe this theory that we're constantly living a memory. And this memory, this current moment, I may not even remember me recording this. But this moment always is a memory. And most of them are forgotten. Yesterday, I don't exactly know what I did. The day before that, I can't sit here and tell you, oh yeah, I had a memory that I was going and doing the dishes, and then after the dishes I went pee. I don't consciously think about going pee. So that's a forgotten memory. I can't sit here and think about every single moment that it happened. So we're living a forgotten memory. And how do you actually sit there and remember the key thoughts to alter your reality? At the end of the day, if thoughts make up reality, if thought in and of itself is one step from being mere reality, how do you actually influence your thoughts? Nobody goes over this. Nobody sits here and wants to explain these things because it's boring. But the way that you do that is by through accessing your parietal lobe. This is something I love talking about. And your parietal lobe is a lobe that's activated when you pray as well as when you meditate and you experience breathing techniques. So when this section is actually registered in the brain, now you're activating portions of the brain that allow you to consciously alter the 115 thoughts out of 6,100 thoughts you have a day to be more habitual. Habitual meaning that you don't actually remember that you did it, you're just doing it no matter what. Unconsciously competent is the definition. You should be unconsciously competent. And the way that you do that is by changing the thoughts in which you think. If I constantly sat here and thought about how my brother died, how my auntie was murdered, how I never met my grandparents, how my family broke up, how they all blamed it on me, at the end of the day, how would I even experience every emotion other than sad? If you constantly always talk about the things that you are actually upset about, those things that you are actually upset about just compound. It's like multiplication. You do something every single day. After about 5 times, imagine you times your life by 5. That's basically the same thing. You're multiplying your life, either good or bad. It's either working against you or in your favor. So the way that you alter your actual thoughts is by praying. meditating, doing the things that will make you feel good, and accessing your peridot lobe. There's more in-depth versions of that, which I will go into later on for like a specific video that's only about 13 minutes. This is going to be a whole podcast where I actually post this entire thing unedited. I really want to just give as much value as I possibly could. And all you got to understand is your feelings objectify. The subconscious never fails to express the feeling in which was impressed upon it. Your feelings connect to your physical world. Emotional disturbances or suppressed emotions is the beginning of a disease. It is in the word dis-ease in both the body as well as the environment that you're experiencing. So the way that you feel, the way that you project yourself, and the things that you talk about on a day-to-day basis is what will alter your reality. That's just it. Change the way that you look at things, and the way that you look at things will start to change. And have this fundamental issue that so many people have this egotistical vibe to them, as if they want to be right. This is my story. This is the way that I think. This is how I helped myself overcome traumatic things I believe are traumatic. Your traumatic situation may be your mom flicked you in the forehead when you were 11 years old. And I'm not here to downplay that, because I believe your emotions are relative to mine. If they weren't, how would we all get along? Or how did we all once get along? Be optimistic, as well as realistic. Don't separate the two, but have hope. What's built on lies and sand will always crumble. You can't take the fabric of reality like a rubber band, pull it as far as you want, and expect it not to snap back at you. Imagine every little thing. I'm ugly. 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 That's going to be a welt. How are you going to get rid of that? It'll be gone in a week? No. You thought about it the whole week. So every single day it just keeps getting worse and worse. Be careful about what you think. Those thoughts change your reality, and your reality are your thoughts in the physical form. This is the best way that I could explain it. I hope this really helps. I don't care how many people have watched this. This is just me speaking honestly. Love, dollar.
If I throw some more ones, she gon' make some. Shot it ass so fat she might break some. So I keep a gutter bitch that might rake some. Take some.